All right. So we are live once again. It is Thursday, June the 5th, and we are excited to be here. This is a another presentation of consciousness ascending. This is our Accelerate Your Journey series that we are offering on your YouTube platform, on your social media platforms, where we're just offering our support. And not just support. Our goal is to support those of you who are on this journey of growth and expansion, on your journey of enlightenment, to accelerate the process, to get to know the truth of you in source, rediscover the truth of you in source, that you might find the space, the state of being where you are free of fear, with the ability to act on your inspirations without hesitation. That's the goal. That's the space that each of you are moving toward. If you're on this path, if you are playing and practicing with transformation, if you are playing and practicing with realizing your inner conflict, realizing the resistance to that which you are intending to be, do, and have, if you are striving to accumulate tools to be able to affect the transformations necessary at your core, at the roots of your ideas. If you are coming online with your potentials of communicating with your inner being, communicating with your support team, non physical, this is for you. For those of you desiring to accelerate the process, we offer this. We offer, if you find value in this, our conscious discussions, which are also free, which we actually have conversations via Zoom, not through the chat, but actual live conversations. You have to register for that, which means just offering your name and email address and getting on the list so that you can receive the Zoom information so that you can participate in those as well. We want to do a better job of letting you know also that we offer private sessions, and our offering is slightly different from what you might imagine. There is no upfront investment for these sessions. If you are one who is on this path, if you're one who has made this path a priority, then you really have to schedule. The investment is that which you are inspired to once the session is over. We want to be clear on that which you are inspired to once the session is over. That should open the door for you to feel more and more comfortable with allowing us to be of support. And you can find that opportunity at www.abrahamoneonone.com. That can be found in the description. You can find the link to our conscious discussions in the description. The ability to support if you are inspired to, and to make that investment that you're inspired to after your private session can be found at the bottom of the page of the conscious discussion registration. And lastly, we offer our private community, which is the most comprehensive opportunity that you may find out there, because it's not a program. It's not a program. It's not a training program. It's not a course. Once you are invested, you are in it for life. As long as we are offering, you are in close contact with us through our private Facebook group, through our question and answer sessions that are held weekly to bi-weekly, email support when you need it. The individuals in that private group are moving very, very quickly. Their process of growth and expansion is accelerated, and they can see the growth that they are experiencing. It doesn't have to take a lifetime. It takes the knowledge, it takes the understanding, it takes the tools, and it takes consistent support that will support you in the highest to accelerate this growth and expansion, because you don't remember the conditioning, the programming has moved you from the place of memory. Not to mention just moved coming into this plane of existence. There's the veil of forgetting. Because if you knew who you were and you knew everything there was to know, then the purpose of this plane of existence for the creation of experience would be tremendously nullified, right? So that's not the purpose. But over lifetimes of evolution, you have gotten to the place now where you are remembering. And for those of you who are to the point now where you know that you are creating, you know that your vibrational expression is key, you know that the contents of your mind are key. If you have gotten to that point, then you're ready for the close contact so that you can accelerate this process at the highest level. And that's what the private community is for. So we are here today to be in support of those of you who are here present now. And we're thankful for your energy support that will help guide this discussion. And for those of you who find this recording, we are thankful for you as well. If you're new, be sure to subscribe, like the video, it helps a lot. And if you are inspired to a new awareness, throw it in the comment section for others to benefit from as well, potentially spurring them to greater understanding. Today's topic: collaborative components are always making their way to you. Your energy signature is establishing your next present moment. Let's get started. Your energy signature is always establishing your next present moment. This is the truth. This is a truth. For you are a vibrational being. You are an energy being first and foremost, which again is why we suggested in a previous interaction to potentially, possibly jump there. The truth of you in source, the truth of you in energy, beyond the body, beyond the mind. It starts to create the space between you and the condition and the programming. You are an energy being, you are vibrational, and you can get to know that truth now. As you play and practice in your meditation, you can, well, your meditation first and foremost begins to create the space because you can play with your awareness, right? You can place your awareness on the tips of your toes. You can place your awareness in your fingertips, and you can play and practice with your awareness as far down as you can imagine into the cells, into the particles. And if you move back a little bit, we were going to say you can play with your awareness to the point where you can feel your pulse in different areas of your body. Being still. Can you be still enough to feel your pulse in your arms, to feel your pulse in your legs, to feel your pulse, your heartbeat, the pulse, the movement of blood surge in your toes? How can you do that? Because you are not your body. You are not your mind. You are housing the body at the moment. It is a vehicle, but your true presence, your true beingness spans far and wide beyond the body. And once you begin to play with your awareness, you can move your awareness all throughout your body and play and evaluate and get to know on a deeper and deeper level. And doing this begins to create the space of understanding and awareness. You are not your body. You are not your mind. Well, what am I? Okay, if I'm not my body, what's left? Energy. Vibration, that is what's left. That is the truth of all things, from the table to the chairs, to the plants, to the trees. They each one have an energy expression first before they are expressed physically. Before they get to the point where you can perceive them with your physical senses. This is the truth of you as well. It's the truth of your planet. It has an energy expression first before it is and was expressed physically. So, okay, you believe that, you understand that, you've played with that, you know that. Now you are an energy being, which means that everything about you is expressing energy or frequency to a degree. Okay? And with that being true, and you understanding that, then it becomes about what am I expressing that is being reflected back to me, that can potentially be reflected back to me. What am I expressing? How does that work? Okay, I have an inner creative process. My inner creative process is always constantly being influenced by what I place my attention on. So what am I placing my attention on? Is my attention on what I don't want or what I do? Is my intention set on that which is painful and that I am not happy about, or is it on what is exciting to me and what I am looking forward to? What do I have my attention on that is being sown, that information being sown into my inner creative process, activating the inner creative process, establishing an energy signature that is personal to me, that is specific to me, that is lining me up, that is calling, if you will, lining me up, aligning me with the collaborative components that are perfect in support of me in the creation of a particular experience. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no good or bad in energy. There is no high or low, no right or wrong, no big or small. These ideas, these concepts that Benny is not wrestling, but releasing now as well as he moves along his path are stifling so many of you. The good bad idea, we understand that the conditioning is strong. We understand that the big small idea, the caste status systems that are established on your plane of existence have been sown not deeply, they're ideas. We understand that, but these are things that you have to release if you seriously are aspiring to be a powerful, conscious creator. They limit you, they slow down, they are resistant. Because the minute you believe something to be big or small, you're simultaneously saying easy and hard. If something is big to you, seems big, it has the synonymous notion of being difficult. So if we talk about your money circumstance, $100 may be something small for you, but 5,000 may be big, which means that it's hard, which means you have to work hard, which means it's difficult, and all those things which are not true. Because in energy, everything just is. Everything is just experience. It takes no more effort to create $100 than it takes to create 5,000. It takes no more effort to create a beautiful relationship than it does to create the not so great relationships that you are accustomed to. It takes no greater energy to do either one. They're both experience being created through the same exact process. So it comes back to understanding the process and then really zeroing in on what you're giving your attention to, because what you're giving your attention to is activating the process for you specifically as an individual. And the energy expression, that mix of vibrations that you are offering perfectly and precisely is what is aligning the experience, is what is lining you up with the collaborative components to create the experience. And the collaborative components are always lining up in love, in love, in support of you to create the experience that is perfect for you based on that which you are expressing vibrationally. And we understand that that can be incredibly frustrating and upsetting in the initial because it seems like huge responsibility. But once you get past that small hurdle, it becomes incredibly empowering because now you realize that you have greater control than you realize. You have greater, if you drop the word control, you have greater influence than you realize. Massive influence on that which is appearing in front of you. You can be consistent at offering frustration and anger and begin to watch how your experience begins to mirror that. You can be consistent at offering beauty and joy and excitement and watch how your experience begins to mirror that. You can prove all of these ideas to yourself, all of them. It's not something that you ever have to believe in. When you are ready for an idea and that idea sits well with you, when it moves through your physical senses into your body and it immediately makes sense or it immediately spurs you to a high vibration, then go about the play and practice of actually proving it to yourself. Don't just hinge on the information unless you have enough experience where you already know that it's true. Go about the play and practice of proving these things to yourself. Collaborative components. Wow. When I look back into my history and I take the faces off of the people from family to those that I have been in close relationships with to those at the different jobs and careers that I have participated in, if I take the faces off and I look and I think about it from a collaborative component standpoint, and I look at what I was offering in those time frames, can I see how the feel of the experiences, the nature of the experiences were lining up with what I was thinking and feeling during those times? Excited, unknowingly, unconsciously offering excitement for the trip to the beach, for the outing with friends to the movies and to dinner, and it turned out an exact reflection of that which I was thinking. I can remember how I was nervous. Didn't really want to be around family because it's never a good time. It's always frustration. There's always someone upset, and I always end up feeling hurt. There's always something between me and my father or me and my mother. There's an issue there. But I went anyway, and my experience was exactly what I didn't want it to be. Wow, was I offering that before I got there, before the actual experience materialized and it lined up with me? Is that really possible? We suggest that you prove these things to yourself because the more you prove these ideas to yourself, you prove the happenings of the integrative process, you prove the happenings of your expressions being reflected because you see and remember what you were thinking and feeling prior to an experience. It makes you stronger. You get stronger in your awareness. You get stronger in your recognition of experience that is reflecting vibrational offering, thought offering, emotion offering. You get stronger then in your ability to choose and to be intentional on that which you are desiring to express. And the more you are able to be consistent at choosing that which you desire to express, the more you release the ideas of good and bad and big and small, the more you are able to stay centered in the present moment in your offering of your intention, irregardless of what is happening outside of you. And the stronger you get, and the more you're able to do that with consistency, the more consistent your experience will become in alignment and in accordance with that which you are offering. The people, from family to strangers, will become a reflection of that which you are offering with greater and greater consistency. And you will be the one who sees the differences. Wow, I had a great time this time. Wow, the family got together and I had an amazing time this time. Wow, over the past week, I've had amazing conversations with my son and my daughter. And normally they very rarely speak. Wow, I was inspired to go to a place or do a thing, and I found something that I was looking for, something that I was looking for, something that I was desiring or needing was manifest. And this has happened multiple times now. And now it seems like things are happening more and more quickly. Is this the result of alignment? Is this the result of me being more and more consistent? I was just playing around with this thing, but it looks like things are happening more quickly for me. Prove it to yourself. The collaborative components, take the faces off, take the names off, and look to the energies. Look to the alignment, vibrational alignment, period. Not good, bad, right, wrong. Not that's my mother, that's my sister, that's my brother, that's my father, but look to the energy of the circumstance. Look to the energy, the tone of the experience, and then look to that which you were offering that lines you up with that experience. It's empowering because now you will know with certainty and you will know what you need to do to change it, to correct it, to transform it into that which you desire it to be. And once you start seeing that, then you start reaching for things that you have not created, understanding what the creative process is, and knowing how it operates. Okay, I see that I'm doing this. I see that I have made changes in my life based on my vibrational expression and playing with being more and more consistent. Now, what can I create from scratch with no recipe and no ingredients in the cupboard? What can I make? Can I start a business? Can I create the opportunity to travel to a new place that I have never been before? What can I create out of nothing? Now that I have proven the operation of the inner creative process within, now that I have proven that I'm not this body and that I am not my mind, I have them as tools in this present moment. These are things that you need to know. These are things that when you are ready, you can stretch yourself to improve to yourself. These are the things that we desire on a deeper and greater level, more consistent level to support you in, that inevitably accelerate the process for you, accelerate your growth and expansion, accelerate the journey of enlightenment that you are on. So, at this moment, we will open it up for any comments, questions, inspirations that you were moved to. Just throw them in the chat and we'll take a look at them. Hey, Christine, I let my eyes adjust a little bit here on the screen. Let's see. Of the channeling, it aligns perfectly with my current experience and awakening. About wonderful synchronicity. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're thankful that you're here and for your energies again that have supported us in the creation of this dialogue. Thank you very much. Any questions? Any questions you might have? Hey, Catherine. Very welcome. Very welcome. Okay, Christine, you mentioned feeling the pulse, tips on practicing this. Yeah, it's just an awareness thing. And you know, you may not accomplish it in the initial But it's the play and practice of playing with your awareness because, again, you're not your body, you're not your mind. Your true presence is in, around, and through your body, right? So you can, this is something Benny learned taking, ESP courses and different things. And, we talk about having specific practices and processes, but then you move into the art of the thing once you have it all down pat and you begin to ask different types of questions. And it's like being a chef or cooking. If you enjoy cooking, you have the recipes, and then you follow the recipe, and then you get to the point where you don't need the recipe anymore. You know exactly how much to put in. I put a little bit of this in, I put a little bit more of this in, and I know how it's going to turn out. Okay, so let me play with this. I'm going to add some pineapples to it this time and see how it turns out. I'll make sure everything else is right. I know how pineapple tastes. I know that flavor is not going to complete. If I don't put too much in, it's not going to override all of the other flavors. That's the art of it. And playing with your awareness gets into the art of this thing just a little bit, right? You're sitting still, you're sitting in a chair or you're lying down, and you're just taking your awareness and placing it on the tips of your toes, right? If you stay at the broad spectrum of your physical body, just place it on your toes and just begin to narrow your awareness and hold it in that position until you can potentially begin to feel your pulse in your toes. Right now, at that point, you're not going to be aware of much of the rest of your body when you have narrowed your awareness down that sharply, which is also interesting in itself, right? And then you move from there, go to different places of the body and just see what you can feel. And once you get to the place where you can feel these things, you can feel these movements, you probably can sit down now and just feel like the tingling that's going on in and through your body, right? But when you're moving around, you're doing your thing during the day, you can't feel any of that stuff. But when you slow yourself down, you can just feel that tingle, that light hum that your body's always giving off. It's moving, right? And then you can narrow your awareness again to try to feel your pulse when you're sitting still in a specific area of your body. Benny tells the story of when he was, and this has been a few years ago, in meditation when he became aware that his body was breathing without him. Of course, you know that's the truth, but you're never truly aware of it to the point where you can feel you're separate. You can feel you're separate from your body breathing. It's kind of spooky the first time you feel that. It's like, okay, I'm aware that my body is breathing without me, but I'm not dead. I'm still here, but I'm aware that my body's breathing without me. That's the separation. That's that awareness separation, not quite an out of body experience, not quite your astral projection idea, but there's separation that has occurred when in your meditation and you're being still, that you are consciously aware that your body is breathing and you're not directing it to. And that's a cool thing because you're creating space. And the importance of creating space is that the more space that you create, the more you can begin to see your thoughts, the more you can begin to perceive your thoughts and the dominant ideas at play within the mind and body. That space that space of awareness allows you to begin to be aware of these things so that when you're in experience that you're not excited about, you can use that space to try to begin to perceive the thoughts that are connected to that experience, the dominant ideas that source the thoughts that are connected to that experience. And as you begin to do that, you can start getting to the roots of that which is within you that aligns you with that experience. and you begin to play and practice with your tools to transform and release those things. And that's the game. Your vibration, contents of your mind. Your vibration, contents of your mind. Even if you begin to be aware of the truth of you and source, you still have to play and practice if you truly want to accelerate the process with your vibration being more consistent in a higher frequency, offering a higher vibration, and the contents of your mind, releasing and establishing yourself anew. That's what speeds up the process. And even though you jump and begin to play and practice with the truth of you and source, you still have, we suggest that you still do those two things, make those a part of your daily practices because it all works together. The releasing and the establishing yourself anew, establishing the new ideas all work together to accelerate your ability to be that which you intend so that you can do and create that which you actually desire. Does that make sense? I think we went over a lot there. Absolutely. It's play. It's got to be play. It has to be a play and practice. It can't be work because work indicates effort and hard and heavy and weighted, and all of that is low vibrational, which strings out the process, makes it very, very difficult. Think about anything that you tried to do or wanted to do. If it was work, you were always pushing. But when you play and practice, think about the vibration that you're in. Think about the frequency that you're offering. And when you're playing with something and you're in a high vibration, the answers, the solutions come quickly. It's about alignment. What are we in alignment with? Right? That's why we say play with alignment just for alignment's sake, not for any particular thing that you're trying to manifest. Because alignment comes first. You want to, if a person wants to shift their life into just better, then you want to play with higher, play with the energies, offering the energies of what that feels like. Forget any particular thing, but just play and be more consistent at offering the energy of what it feels like for life to be better, to be more fun, to be more joyous, to be more connected, whatever it means to you. But play and practice, just those words alone, change the feel of what we're doing here, right? You're in a better, higher vibration, and that higher vibration puts you in a higher vibration perspective so that when things show up that are born of resistance or conflict or lower vibrational ideas that you're still housing, you're in a higher perspective when you see them, when they show up, so that you can hopefully more quickly, or they don't knock you too far off center to where you can come back and say, okay, let me look to these thoughts. If you're out and about or you're doing something, just maybe note them down. Let me look to the thoughts that are here right now. And then later on, okay, what ideas, what must I believe to be creating these thoughts that ultimately yielded this experience? And now you're playing and practicing with these things. Now you're playing with cutting into these things, and you begin to ask your inner being, okay, so what's the information here for me in this experience? What's the information here for me that will spur me into greater growth and expansion? And then once you glean the information, okay, what's the highest and best way for me to release this? And you allow your inner being to give you the imagery of what you need to do at that moment. And this is the art of the thing, to release that, the ideas that source that experience. And then who am I that is free of these ideas? Allow your inner being to present that to you and then sow that as your truth, right? Do both sides. Do the release and establish who you are now without those ideas. So you're releasing or cutting into, and you're establishing the new idea that begins to establish new states of being based on that which you are intending. Beautiful stuff. Thank you. Thank you for the questions and the comments. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Well, we are extremely excited, thankful, and grateful for each of you who have participated. We're thankful for those of you who are here again live, supporting the creation of this interaction with your energies and with your presence. We're thankful for each of you who have found this recording. Thankful for your presence as well and allowing us to be of support. Again, if you find value in this interaction and you are inspired to participate in a live conversation, there is the opportunity to do that. Go register. Find the link for our conscious discussions in the description, and we will see you there. We love you very much, and we'll be here tomorrow. Today's Thursday. We'll be here tomorrow, same time. We are thinking about maybe alternating and doing this time of day and in the evenings. Of course, we will let you know about that, but just keep a lookout. Keep a lookout for these opportunities because we are intending to be more and more consistent with offering our support so that each one can get to know us more and more through this vessel and the opportunities that we offer to be of support, not just to be of support, but to accelerate the process because you can accelerate the process. Thank you very much. We love you very much, and we will talk to you soon.